my name is Crystal Scott, and I'm the Director of Resource Development at Pensacola Habitat for Humanity. We have tons of stuff to cover within the next 30 minutes or so, so I'm going to jump right in and introduce our first guest, Mr. Al Henderson. He's our Chief Operating Officer at Pensacola Habitat for Humanity. Al, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Ms. Crystal.
Yes. We just want to chat a little bit about this big national campaign that Habitat International has launched recently. It's their first national campaign, kind of bringing awareness to the housing crisis that is, not only nationally, statewide, but here locally also.
Right.
So I kind of want to get your take on the Cost of Home campaign and kind of what that means for us here locally.
Right. It's wonderful that Habitat International has really shined a light on the affordable housing crisis issue. Locally, we've had a task force that was formed by Commissioner May and also the city mayor, Grover Robinson. I'm sorry. I actually sat in on a task force that they had where they were kind of addressing that issue. So anytime you can shine a light on that issue, I think is very, very critical. A lot of people don't realize that affordable housing, safe and affordable housing, affects a lot of domains.
And it does, and for us as Pensacola Habitat, it means so much for our elected officials and things to start talking about things that we live and breathe every day. And so it's nice for people, things that we've been talking about for years and years and years.
Right.
It's nice for other people to start kind of backing us up, if
right.
you will.
Exactly.
I know that some of the numbers and things that have been released from the Habitat campaign, the fact that 1 in 6 Americans are paying more than 50% of their monthly income on housing. I guess talk a little bit about how, I was talking to Sean earlier and talk about how no matter what you're passionate about, whether it's education or childcare or whatever, how does housing is really the root of everything.
Yeah, I've had an opportunity to serve on several task forces, and one of the things that I noticed the lack thereof is the attention to safe and affordable housing. Can you imagine as we have our homeowners, they have to sit and make a decision on whether or not to pay their utility bill or to buy their medicine? Access to really great education. They are faced with these challenges every day. Now, outside of our homeowners, those individuals who are paying over the 50%, they're really struggling. So that's where Habitat comes in to try to address that type of issue.
Yeah, and I think that one of the most important things to kind of point out is that us as Pensacola Habitat, we recognize that no one should ever have to pay more than 30% of their monthly income. And so, and that's kind of the way that we've always operated.
Yes.
And just kind of thinking and having to imagine people are paying more than 50% of what they make.
Right.
And you mentioned, do I pay my mortgage or do I pay for my kids' school, or do I pay my mortgage or do I get nutritious foods? All of those things are tough choices that no one should have to make.
They shouldn't. And that's why when we look at Pensacola Habitat, we actually have a mission. Our mission is we want to build homes. We also want to build communities. But more importantly, I think we want to harness hope inside of our community. We've undergone several changes, and of course you've been a part of a lot of those changes. I've been here with the organizations for a year now, and since I've been aboard, we've changed a lot of things, including an online application process. So that has brought forth a lot of need, or showed us a lot of need inside of the community as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think with the launch of our online application, it's kind of accentuated the need here locally, and we can honestly say now that being 6-ish months into the year, and we've received more applications than we did in the entire year last year because of the ease of applying and things like that. And so it kind of just identifies the need here locally.
It does. It is actually one of those things that we did not see coming. We thought that we would kind of just ease into it, do a soft opening. But again, 6 months into the program, we've actually received more applications than we received all of last year. We have to go back and look at it and say what we budgeted for in our upcoming fiscal year, we're not going to be able to meet the demand. We have to take another look at those sort of things. Of course, now also, when I was talking about the changes that we made, we had an opportunity to do a lot of things like our home selection process. Those things may play a great role in the people wanting to come to us as well to try to fulfill their needs.
Yeah, and I think that the quality home, and we'll talk a lot about this with Sean, our construction director, when he comes on. But the home that we're building, no one's really building in that price point right now. But the need is still there, and one of the things that has been magnified with the Cost of Home campaign is the fact that rents and mortgages are skyrocketing, but people's wages are remaining the same. And so it's kind of the point of the campaign to kind of look at some of the policies and try and see how we can combat this crisis. So
well, as I look at it, perhaps if you look at an individual who came into our program 2 years ago, they probably qualified within the 50% range or 60% range. But today, if they were to come back in with the rising costs of development costs, land costs, they probably qualify on the lower end, on the 30% range. So we at Habitat want to make sure that we talk about hope. We want to make sure that their experience with our organization is as if they qualify for any particular conventional loan. So one of the things we want to do is just make sure we provide the best quality product, the best quality experience at the same time, and recognize that we understand that we have challenges with the development costs, we have challenges with land acquisition. So we constantly have to try to adjust and maneuver around those issues.
Absolutely. Well, I think that touching a little bit on the online application was important. If you are considering home ownership and you think that you are ready to take that next step, we encourage you definitely to visit our website at PensacolaHabitat.org, and then take that next step, better yourself, better your family, build that wealth, all of those things that we always talk about. We definitely encourage that. Any final thoughts on the topic?
Yes. Because I touched briefly on the development costs. We touched briefly on land acquisition. One of the things I'm sure in the next segment, someone's going to talk about how folks can come in and help us a little bit. One of the things with land acquisition is it is critical because we can have the funding to build, we have the capacity to build, but we need a place to build. So if there are lots out there, we're asking citizens, make sure that they, send them our way. We're always looking for donations as well for land acquisition. So that is really critical for us at this point.
Absolutely. And you did mention the whole budgeting thing, and we have budgeted this year to build 40 homes, 35 new, and then create 40 new home buyers. And so obviously with this increased need, we're going to have to figure out ways to we're going to have to do things differently. So we're gonna cut to break. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it, and we'll be right back.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Since 1981, we've built more than 1,300 homes in Escambia and Santa Rosa counties. Love built this home, and love keeps it. Pensacola Habitat for Humanity.
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us after that awesome commercial break. Here now with me is Mr. Sean Person. He is our brand spanking new construction director. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to briefly talk about your pre-Habitat stuff. Tell us a little bit about your experience that you bring to Pensacola Habitat and why the community should be thankful for our score as far as you coming to work with us.
Well, Crystal, I came from the private industry. About 20 years construction experience, from commercial to residential. Residential anywhere from 20,000 square foot all the way down to 3,000 square foot, and a lot of multifamily.
So we talked about with Al a little bit about how rising land costs and rising development costs and things like that are affecting not only Pensacola Habitat, but all of the builders in our area. And so how are we at Pensacola Habitat able to keep our house affordable while still building the quality home that people expect from us, as far as energy efficiency and all of those things. How are we able to remain affordable?
Well, we're reaching out to our vendors and suppliers and subcontractors, asking for in-kind donations. We ask our subs to assist with some of the builds so that they reduce the costs. And recently, one of our vendors or suppliers gave us an in-kind donation of bricks. So for the first time ever in Habitat Pensacola history, we're going to be possibly providing brick.
Possibly.
We're
vetting that out. And, I think the most important and notable thing about that is that we're exploring all of our options, and we are doing what is best for the people who we serve, the people who are coming to us for that affordable home unit. A little bit about land and the struggle that we're having with that. What we're doing now is we are purchasing property in all different parts of Escambia and Santa Rosa counties to allow for our home buyers to really have a choice, with school districts and all of those things that people desire, the desirable parts of town. And so, as far as land goes, what can our viewers do to assist us with that issue?
Well, land is becoming hard to come by. The 1 and 2 parcels that Habitat was used to getting is no longer happening. So we're looking at larger parcels. So if anyone in the community has family members, please reach out to us and PensacolaHabitat.org, and we'll come out and evaluate the land. So we look forward.
Yeah, definitely. And one, we talked about new things that we have been exploring. One of the things that we're kind of tossing around, just in the past couple weeks is the possibility of building true mixed income neighborhoods, if you will. So do you want to talk about that?
Sure. Currently designing a neighborhood, 33 houses. We're hoping to get other contractors in, team up, make this not just a Habitat, but also part of the community, get other affordable housing builders in there. So we're really excited about that.
Yeah, really looking forward to that project. What are some of the most notable ways that the community can get involved with Pensacola Habitat as far as construction in your world goes?
Well, the volunteer crews are essential. So we're always looking for volunteers. The larger, the better.
Yeah, and it's a really neat experience and opportunity. And I know that you had some Habitat experience in Indiana, and so I would just encourage anyone, if you haven't come out and built with us, it really is a neat experience. Anything else that you want to mention as far as community involvement in construction goes?
You mentioned energy efficient, and Pensacola Habitat recently just received a letter from the EPA. Last year, 2018, we built 32 homes that were Energy 3-star, which means that we reduced carbon emissions by 32 metric tons. That's the same as removing 100 barrels of oil and actually planting 500 trees.
Nice.
So the environmental impact we're having is great.
And that's kind of a hot topic considering the weather, climate change, and all of those things. Truly no joke. Let's talk about some of the special builds and things. I just wanted to kind of mention, you talked about vendors and ways that vendors could assist, and I know that we've got Women Build coming up in October, so vendors are super involved in that build.
Absolutely.
They tend to donate all of the stuff. If we can't get all of the stuff for that home donated, then we get the majority of things donated. And so that's just another way for you guys to get involved with Pensacola Habitat. We build Tuesday through Saturday.
Saturday, yes.
Typically the hours are 8 to 2:33-ish. So if you're interested in volunteering, I encourage you to go to our website. So any final thoughts about anything that you would like to share? I know that you talked a little bit about the energy efficiency, but you forgot to mention our 2019 Parade of Homes.
Yes, Parade of Homes. So we we were in the bracket of, I believe it was 210,000 and below, and Habitat won, and I believe that was the second year in a row.
Yeah, so we won back in 2016, and we are super proud to win again in 2019. So that was a big accomplishment.
It's a well-built home.
It speaks to the quality of the home that we're building, and we have been building for quite some time. We just sometimes don't get the recognition or the credit that.
Until now.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it, and we're going to go to commercial again, so stay with us.
Since 1981, we've helped more than 1,300 families transform into proud homeowners. Homeowners who have invested in themselves and their communities. We're Pensacola Habitat for Humanity, transforming communities one homeowner at a time.
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking around. I now have with us Miss Mei Davis. She is currently our vice chair on our board of directors at Pensacola Habitat for Humanity, and next year we are so thankful that you are taking over as the chairman of our board.
That's what I hear.
So how long have you been on Pensacola Habitat's board?
Hundreds of years. It feels like
So it
hundreds
seems.
of years.
So
I
it
believe
seems.
four. I think this is my fourth year.
And why?
I'll tell you why. Dr. Jim Potter, who's like a second father to me, I was at his house one day and he leans over and says, "So kid, what have you been doing lately?" I don't know, what do I need to be doing? He goes, "Well, they're a little short on the board at Habitat and you're not on a board currently," because I've served on a lot of boards. And I said, okay, because he's one of those guys when Dr. Potter says, "Do you want to?" It's sort of a,
Yeah,
you're
should.
just going to do that. Next thing I know, I was on the board. And a very interesting board it is. I mean, it's a great mix of people. Some people I knew, some I'd never met before. But it brought into focus for me our needs. At Habitat, we need your time. If you're a teenager and you have the summer off, we need your time. We give service hours towards your Bright Future Scholarship. Come on in. If you have old furniture, call our restore. We need that. If you were working on a home improvement project and you have extra lumber, extra anything, call restore. We'll take that. If you happen to have a piece of land your grandma left you, don't have the money to do anything with it, and you're like, I've got this piece of land. What am I going to do with it? Call us. We'd love you to donate it, but we might be able to buy it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have talked a lot about land in this segment in particular, and it's just one of the needs that we have definitely identified. So I appreciate you pointing that out. What about some of the other committees and things? I know that you're involved with the governance committee.
We have, if you're interested, let me start by saying this. You hear conversations in a bar, in a dining room, in your home, at your church, and somebody goes, "I don't like this," or "I wish the community," or I wish. Next time you hear somebody say that, go, "Have I got a deal for you? Habitat needs you." Because we can't fix all the world's problems, but we can fix the gap in the housing that we have in Escambia and Santa Rosa County. We can tangibly fix this. We can put people in affordable homes. That's our job. But I try to tell people it's not really our job just to build houses. We share in your hope. We share in your joy. We help you build generational wealth, because if you have a house that you can pass on to your kids, that helps them one little more step than what you had. We want to share in all that. That's why we ask for, can you donate land? Would you donate your bricks? Can you donate your extra pavers? Whatever it is you have, and you're not sure if we need it, call us. We'll tell you.
Absolutely. I think that that's another neat thing about Pensacola Habitat is, even though the need isn't there maybe for yourself or for your family members or anything like that, people don't really understand the breadth of housing and how much it affects everything. And so,
like, we don't build our own roofs. We employ roofers. So Habitat employs roofers. We employ plumbers. We employ electricians. We employ the people that work at the concrete company. We employ the people at the lumber company. We have a lot of volunteer hours that go into our houses, but it's it's a drop, it's a pebble in the water, and we're a tiny pebble, but we resonate throughout the community. And your family might not need one of our houses, but how about that first year teacher, that first or second year firefighter, that first or second year police officer, that is spending 50% of their income. We're here. And the only reason we can be here and remain here is through volunteer efforts. We have a group of women that come out on the Women Build, and they are amazing, amazing people. We'd love to see all the car dealerships come out and build one house, because I'm sure every car dealership out there has an employee that could go through our process and they could help build that home. I'm sure the paper company, the chemical companies, Air Products, whoever's out there, get a team together, raise some money, and if everybody raised $100, or you just wrote a $100 check, and if you have a big enough plant, come together. And if you don't, let's say you have a small company, there's only 5 employees and you want to help. Well, you are doing business with another company that only has 5 people and another company. So get your 4 or 5 buddies, or your kickball team, or your softball team, or your kids' travel ball team. Get those people together, because every travel ball team, every softball team knows there's a parent, usually a single parent, that's living somewhere that they could be in a better situation in a Habitat house. Get that travel ball team together. Let's help who we know and love.
Yeah, and
that's what this is about.
I think that's the part about the community piece of our mission. The building homes, communities, and hope. The community piece is so very important. And you talked about how we're providing jobs and promoting a local economy and all of those things. But too, it's your neighbor. It's your barber. It's your like you said, your child's teacher. And so
it's somebody's grandma who is my age and has never owned a home and is watching their rent go up, but their income is not going up, and they're scared. We help alleviate fear. We really do, because once you have a house payment, that's it. It might go up with taxes and insurance a little bit, but your basic mortgage payment is going to be about the same. And then you pay that house off in 20, 22, 30 years, depending on the program and how we have to piece it together and the situation. But then it's yours. Then you have no house payment, and all you're paying is taxes and insurance. So if you're paying taxes and insurance and you're 62 years old and you're living on a small Social Security check, you're not frightened. So we alleviate fear. So it's not just for the young. We want to say, look, if you know somebody's grandma, that the kids are grown, but she's always been a renter, talk to her, help her, sit down if she's not, computer savvy. Sit down with her and go, let's just fill this out. It's free. Fill it out.
And it's very, very easy. I want to kind of bring everything back together and talk a little bit about you mentioned the businesses and things like that. And so we are providing corporate sponsorship opportunities for employers, whether you are a large company, a smaller company, ways that you can team build while actually building. And so we're looking for people to come out. We're looking for people to join us.
Well, get out of your cubicle. It's really fantastic. You'll see people that have worked together for years, and they're all in the cubicles or they're all in their offices, and they come together and they decide, okay, we're going to help Habitat. And they've got on their jeans and their work shirt and their work belt and the hat, and they get out there, and it is a team building process, because the guy you're sitting next to that you've never had a conversation with of any depth, you're out there and you're like, oh yeah, I built my own porch, and he's like, so did I. And oh, you went to this high school, so did I. Anytime you can take a community, the more you weave the pieces together, the stronger the community becomes. And it's little conversations like that, and it's just helping on that one house for that one weekend. I mean, everybody's got one Saturday. Okay, maybe not during football season. We don't have that many Saturdays then. But everybody has a Saturday that they can come out and help us build.
For sure.
And you'll want to come back. Your heart will be full.
Absolutely. And I think thank you, Mei, so much for joining us today. We really do appreciate your service, and we can't wait for you to serve as our board chair next year. It's going to be fun. I think that, if you realize that you would like to get involved with Habitat for Humanity in any of the ways that we've mentioned today, please reach out to us. Give us a call, 850-434-5456, or visit us on the web. You can find tons of information there. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next time.
My name is Madeline Cates. I'm a media consultant here at Blab TV. So for the dental office that I worked at, the long-form programming actually allowed our office to tell the story in more ways than just pictures. And you have more than a 30-second commercial. You have more than a billboard. Like the doctor that I worked for, he was basically like a local personality. People felt like they knew him when they walked in because they've been watching him forever, and it worked really, really well for him. My name is Madeline Cates, and I am Blab TV.
Calls me googly eyes.
You know you're beautiful, right? You know that?
Even you are beautiful. I got bullied for wearing glasses. Share if you're against bullying.
We put it out there, just took off. 3 million people have shared this post. Don't let bullies get you down. I stand with you. Our whole family's wearing glasses. I wear glasses and I'm proud.
I even have the army on my team.
All the kind comments brought my child joy. I don't feel thank you is enough.
Next.
Since 1981, we've helped more than 1,300 families transform into proud homeowners. Homeowners who have invested in themselves and their communities. We're Pensacola Habitat for Humanity, transforming communities one homeowner at a time.